Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. My name is Lucas, and today we're gonna be editing a Framer project using Strawberry browser. And what Strawberry browser is, it's a AI browser where you can basically create different AI agents. Like we have right here, we have Laura, we have Lovable Expert, which is a lovable expert, and we have Randy. And basically, we're gonna be creating an AI agent to help us with different tasks in Framer, like creating new pages, um, helping us with copywriting, helping us with different plugins, right? We're gonna see how far it goes. This is a pretty new tool, but I'm just curious to see how this works um, when working together with Framer, right? If this sounds interesting for you guys, let's go ahead and get started with this. All right, and like I said, we are going to be using Framer, so I am going to basically just jump in to a specific project, right? We have this untitled project. Let's call it, you know, let's call it strawberry tutorial, right? And so we have this, and basically what we want to do now is we want to create a new agent, and we want this agent to kind of understand what we're doing, right? So I'm going to go over here. Actually, let's see how we do this. We're going to go new companion, and we're going to change its image. I want to make something more blue-ish, so that represents Framer. Let's see if we can find something blue. Here we go. And let's call this the Framer bro, right? He's our Framer bro. Let me make this a little bit wider for us to see. And let's give it some instructions. You are a professional Framer developer. You know how to build Framer sites, and you are also great at copywriting. So maybe this is a poor instruction. Maybe it would be best to give it something else, like, for example, some rules, right? So be friendly, but also follow exactly what I am telling you to do, period. And we're gonna skip this memories one for now, but we're gonna start adding skills. So the first skill that I'm gonna add is, adding these different breakpoints, right? This is the first thing that I usually do all the time. So I'm gonna go plus, and I'm gonna go teach new skill, and we're gonna record the screen. We're gonna do this very quickly. So I'm just gonna go plus tablet, plus phone, and then stop. And we're gonna call this adding breakpoints. Add breakpoints in Framer. That's perfect, actually. So it gave us this name. We're gonna remove this link, and it says description: quickly add breakpoints for different devices. Tablet and phone. Step 1, with the browser agent, navigate to Framer. Click the plus icon. Yeah, perfect. So this looks pretty good. So let's create this skill. And as you can see, it's added right here. So very important is that we click here on create and not on the back button, because then everything gets lost. So let's click on create. And now we have our Framer bro. So what we can do is we can actually go here and Command Z and start over again. And we can say, hey, Framer bro, please create the different breakpoints on this tab, right? So once we write that, it says, I'll help you add breakpoints for different devices in Framer using the skill add breakpoints in Framer, right? I'll use the browser agent to execute this task since we're already in the Framer editor page. So it knows that we're in the Framer editor page. It's controlling the tab. As you can see, it's clicking on the plus button. It's analyzing the different options. It's clicking on tablet, and then it's basically going to repeat itself until all of the different breakpoints are added, right? So right now it's still on the tablet, and then it'll eventually select the phone. And once it's complete, it says complete here with the nice green banner, and we can see the playback, right? So I want to see, okay, we can actually see how this looks like. So it shows us the different steps of how it does it. which is pretty cool. We can also see like a developer mode, which basically kind of analyzes all the different actions for each step, right? And as you can see, it kind of gives numbers to everything, which is pretty interesting, right? So yeah, let's go away from here. And I want to see how we can go back. Okay, here we are. Now the next thing that I want to teach this browser is to add new pages, right? So we have the home page, and let's say that we want to add like 5 new pages, right? So I'm going to go ahead and go to this Teach Companion button, and we're going to teach it a new skill. So we're going to record our screen and commence with the new skill. So like this, up here to the Pages button, new page, name, enter, stop recording, right? So we're going to wait until this basically finishes analyzing what we did. So Framer, new page creation, perfect. Let's just delete this link. And it says create a new page in Framer with the browser agent, navigate to framer.com, click the pages. I would try to delete this as well, because you know, you don't want to navigate to that website because that's like the framer.com website. So let's just rename these steps. So 5 examples of the skill can be used to automate the process of creating new pages in Framer. Yeah, so let's just create this new skill and use it as something to, let's just create like a few pages, right? Let's create 5 new pages. Contact, about, let's create the services page, categories, and support. All right, let's click on enter and see how this gets it done. So I'll help you create these 5 new pages in Framer using the Framer new page creation skill. Awesome. So it's controlling the tab, analyzing everything. I didn't delete this, which we should have done, but let's just leave it there. It's creating a new page. As you can see, it's analyzing the different options. It's selecting the new page, and then it should be typing the first one at least. So let's see. Okay, so it says page contact. So it's not so perfect, but at least it deleted it and now it put contact. So that's interesting. So after about a minute or so, it's creating these different pages. Again, I mean, it is easier for you to do this manually. I'm just showing you a few use cases that I think are pretty interesting, right? That this bot can basically help us with. All right, now let's try something a little bit more advanced, right? So we have our different pages. It's pretty simple. We have our different breakpoints, which is great. You know, obviously very important to do or to have in your project, right? But let's go ahead and try to add stuff like components or sections to our pages, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go here and teach the companion something else. And we're going to record our screen, but let me just first analyze to see what we want to do. So we can either add sections or a nav bar, something like that, to our page, or we can add some type of CMS, right? I'm thinking first we can start off with a section, right? We can start off with one of these pre-made sections from Framer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record my screen. Again, 3, 2, 1. And then we're going to go to insert. We're going to go to sections. We're going to go here and click and then stop this, right? So now this is probably going to give it some name like adding a new section, add section to Framer project. Let's remove this again. So I want to also remove this first one. So steps 1, 2, and 3. Adds a pre-designed section to a Framer project. Click on the insert button, click on section in the left side menu, click on the ship sites with style section. Example use case, the skill can be used to quickly add pre-designed sections. Yeah, perfect. So we're going to delete this. We're actually going to go back. And what I want to do is I want to, oh, why is this set to Let's make sure that this is, okay, it's fixed. Let's set these two to a fixed height just to make sure that we have something, right? And let's go ahead and create this skill. And let's go back and, oh, did we save it? I'm not sure. Yes. So we're gonna go ahead and ask Framer Bro, hey Framer Bro, let's add 3 different sections in our Framer project. So I'm just saying in our Framer project, we could eventually choose a specific type of page, but I'm just being, very vague in the beginning just to kind of, see how this works, right? So let's press on submit. And once it submits, let's see what it says. I'll help you add 3 different pre-designed sections using the add section to Framer project skill. I noticed that the skill example uses a ships sites with style section, but I'll help you add 3 different sections for variety. Okay, that's great. So it's analyzing. It should go down to sections. Yes, it does. And then it notices this ship sites with style one that we added before. It's going to add that one regardless. Great. And let's see, it should click on this again. Oh no. So again, this is something that we have to see what it does. I'm just analyzing to see what it does. Okay, now it's going back to the plus. It should go down to sections. And let's see if it chooses a different one. I'm not sure, but let's see. Okay, it chooses the same one. Maybe this is just like one example of how, you have to kind of show it or teach it. Maybe each skill can be another type of section, right? One skill can be for hero section. One skill can be for a, features section. One can be for contact, etc. But as you can see here, it kind of struggled with that more advanced prompt. All right, so the agent basically added 2 identical sections, which, it's a good start, but it's not what we need, right? And in order to make it not identical, we can at least start with changing the text, right? So we can ask this AI agent to edit the text and maybe add its own type of copywriting. So let's see how that works. So we can go ahead and go up here, teach companion, and let's go ahead and record our screen. And with Framer, obviously you can just go like this. This is an example text. And here, right, this is a description, right? And then click away and then stop, right? So let's see how this kind of digests this information. So Framer text editor, again, let's remove this. This skill allows the browser agent to edit the text within the Framer design environment. It can select and replace existing text with new content. With the browser agent, navigate to Framer project. Okay, so let's remove this navigation thing and let's just rename the steps. So wait for the Framer editor to load completely. Let's remove that too. Locate the text element that needs to be edited. The user will specify which text element to edit. Okay, so I will have to specify this. So that's a good point. Go from design to site with Framer, the web builder for creative pros. Okay, so I basically have to indicate what text I wanted to basically rewrite. And let's change this to number 2. Click on the specified text to select it. I would say double click. Once the text, replace the existing text with the new text provided by the user. For example, replace shops. Okay, good. So this can be number 3. And after replacing the text, click away from the text element to deselect it and save the changes. Yeah, it's just, we don't have to save the changes, right? This can be used. Okay, so let's create skill. And let's save this guy. Let's go back and let's say replace the text. This is a description with a creative 2-sentence long text about Framer, right? So let's submit that and see how that goes. I'll help you replace that text using the Framer text editor skill to create a more engaging description about Framer. Perfect. So as it starts, let's just see how this goes. The tab is already controlled by the agent, and it should find that this is a description text. So it basically got the text and then changed the text of the layer and not of the actual content. I'm going to show you right now. So we can go ahead and click on this, and it says transform your creations with whatever. So the text is actually really good, but it didn't do a good job. It selected this and then double clicked this and then basically edited the text. So we're gonna, ask it to edit the text over here, right? So I'm gonna just Command Z and train it to edit the text here on the right panel. So let's go ahead and just click on this, or let's go ahead and teach the companion. And we're gonna click on record screen. So let's record the screen. And then we go ahead and click this. We go over here. This is a text. And then pause this. And let's wait for this to load. Framer text editor. Let's call this 2.0. Remove this. With the browser agent, let's delete this. We don't need this. Click on the text element that you want to edit. Go to the content section on the right side of the screen. Type in the new text. Press enter to save the changes. Example use case. This can be used. Okay. Skill. Great skill. Perfect. Let's save this. Let's go back. Let's say using the Framer text editor 2.0 skill, change the text that says this is a text to a 3-sentence description text about Framer. All right, let's press send and let's see how that goes. All right, so the screen is being controlled. We got that. Let's hope that it doesn't, and it didn't get the correct one. It's getting the one on the top. And it's renaming the page, which is not good. So you see these types of things are a little bit advanced for this. Maybe we just have to rename this. So maybe we can just say select this is a text layer on the left layers panel, and then on the right panel under text, replace the content with a 3-sentence text about Framer. So we can try like this. This is a little bit more of a direct way it's not really a workflow that it kind of knows. But let's see if this might be more helpful. And if it is more helpful, then we can replace these directions inside of the workflow. And as you can see, it's actually doing a pretty good job. It just didn't save it. But if we were to go like this, as you can see now, there's a new text that was saved. It didn't do it in the correct layer, but at least we have it there, right? So maybe it's not so advanced to do it directly inside of Framer first, but we can just get this and copy this, for example, put this in here and rename this to this. This is our title. Okay. And this we can just go like this, right? All right, now let's try let's try something else. Let's try and kind of try something else more advanced. Maybe we can do something with the site settings. So I don't think we have to give it a workflow for this, but we could eventually do something with the site settings. For example, please write a captivating site title and site description for my Framer project. Again, very vague. It would be nice if you had like maybe your business plan inside of this knowledge hub, so it can know a little bit more about what your business is about. But eventually, when it does know about that, you can do certain things like this. For example, this is pretty easy. So FrameFlow Studio, creative web design and development, and then site description basically does it like that, right? So these types of things are pretty good with the Strawberry browser. In this case, it can't really save, but it actually knows what it's supposed to do, which is pretty impressive, which is to click on the save button. Oh, it has a max length. So please shorten the site description to be less than 255 characters, right? Now, something that I want to try doing with the Strawberry browser is, editing CMS collections inside of Framer, right? So basically seeing if it can edit and add new fields, if it can add new items automatically, just to make our lives easier. For example, I make YouTube videos where I use, fake CMS collections with different images. So I just want to see if it can do that. So I want to first go ahead and say, rename my CMS collection to projects. Number 2, we want to go ahead and let's just start off very simple. Add a new item and fill out the information. Okay, so let's see if it can do something like this, just to test out the waters. So first thing is just to rename that collection to projects, which if you are, into Framer, you just have to double click on that left panel where it says collection and type in the new name. I guess it's doing that. Let's see. Okay, it's analyzing it. So I bet it can read that rename. Perfect. So it says rename. And then let's see. It's collection. We want to call it projects. Perfect. So that number 1 is done. And Framer Bro is done with that. So it says now it's creating that new CMS content, modern e-commerce platform. Perfect. It actually did it. Now I guess it's going to save it. Oh no. Now it's going to go ahead and edit the fields. We don't want that. So let's just analyze to see what it's doing. It did its job already, but now it's just hallucinating, I guess. Let's just wait. So what I'm thinking is that I wasn't very direct here. I said add a new item and fill out the information. So it's probably thinking that it has to fill out more information here in these fields. but it basically did its job already. I should have put as a step 3 save, like click on the save button and then you're done. But it's still kind of like trying to figuring out what to do next. In this case, what we can do is just stop the companion and we can just click on save because we saved it, because it added it, right? And now what I want to do is I wanted to go to edit fields and add a new image field. And then basically just click out of that. So let's go ahead and add a new field to our CMS collection. Add a new image field. Name it thumbnail. Then click outside of the editor to finish your task. Let's click on enter. And as you can see, it opened the edit fields. It says project field. It's clicking on the title. I wanted to see that plus button. Please confirm the add button in the CMS collection editor is not responding to clicks. The add button. So as you can see, you can chat with it while it's still performing its task because it needs a confirmation. So the add button is the plus button on the right side of project fields. So let's confirm that. And now let's see. It should analyze the UI again. There we go. So we gave it that confirmation. Now I can see what it's doing. It added this image and now it should click outside. Let's just cross our fingers. Okay, it's gonna call it image thumbnail. Let's make sure that it's just thumbnail. All right, so it created a new field called image thumbnail, didn't delete the image, but I mean, it added a new image, which is pretty cool. So we can ask it to build, we can ask it to, or we can show it how to add a thumbnail using a plugin called Lumi. Maybe that might be a little bit more advanced. Let's just try it. So click on the CMS item, then click on the image field, then click on plugins, then click on the Lumi plugin, then select a random image, and then your task is done. So let's see if it can do that. So basically just adding a random image to our image thumbnail field. And it's actually doing it. Open Lumi by itself. It's probably going to select that first image. Let's just hope that it selects something at least. It's clicking between the two images, so it's not really clicking on anything. Okay, so it was almost there. So this is a little bit more advanced. Just click, click. You can do it. So please confirm the Lumi plugin is not displaying any images. It might require some configuration. Do you have any? Okay, so it doesn't see the images. Okay. Let's say there is a grid of images. You can't see them. So yeah, I guess our Framer Bro is having troubles selecting images, but it's good to know. So let's just stop this companion. Let's just add an image. It got this far. And let's go ahead and let's ask it to add, you know, maybe 10 more items to this collection. So can you please add 10 more items to this collection? So let's ask it to add some items. A very vague prompt, very not very detailed. Let's see if it adds the information as well, like a title and the content. So let's just see how that goes. Okay, so it is having some problems. So again, I do need to be a little bit more precise. So it added a new one. I'm gonna go ahead and click. Can you please add 10 more add 10 more items to this collection? Once you finish adding an item, click on the can you add a new item to the collection? Once you finish adding an item, click on the save button and repeat 9 times. So maybe something like this would be a little bit better for our Framer Pro to understand. And yeah, while this basically starts adding new items to our collection, you can kind of see that with a better prompt, you know, being a little bit more specific as to what you want to do, it does the job much better, right? And we kind of showed different types of use cases today, this one being kind of like the most challenging one, but there's a bunch of other things that we could do as well. We can do stuff with animations, we can do stuff with component libraries, right? Already finished components and bringing them into our project, right? That's going to take a little bit more time to actually train the AI agent to do or to learn, but it's possible, right? It just takes time. So hope you guys enjoyed this video today. It was pretty fun watching this little Framer bro build our CMS and fix our site and add our meta description and whatnot. So if you have any other ideas of what we can do, please write them down in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to read that. And if you haven't already done this, join our group, our community, our free Discord community. It's in the link is in the description below. It's a great place to connect with other builders and with me. And if you have any problems with Framer or with other tools, if you're using the Strawberry browser and you have some questions, any type of no-code tool that I talk about in my channel, feel free to write some support ticket and we'll help you, right? So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this. It was pretty fun. All right. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Goodbye.